So once your product is valuable, once what you have to offer is solid and good, but maybe you still don't have the leverage that you need yet, can you pay your way to get on a tour like that? Can you go to Winter Jam? And I'm just using Winter Jam as an example, but can you go to Winter Jam and say, we'll pay you 30,000 for our group to be an opener? Can you do that?
Winter Jam is the example.
What's the going rate? I think it's more like 50.
I thought it was more than that. I thought it
Is
was
it
like
more now?
75. Yeah.
I
And
remember
that
I
was that
remember
was a few years ago.
the same thing, but think of that. So like they didn't have the money, the label took the shot on them, paid for this original album that didn't hit, and also dropped 50 grand on behalf of the band. The amount that they had to recoup, like they were basically just like they were screwed. There was nothing they could do, and then they got dropped. So I will say this. I'm actually working on a course right now. I don't know if I told you about this, Joey. It's built around like how to fund your music career. This whole concept of like, okay, how do you get this money? Because so this was the big realization that Joey and I had in the last few years. And this was also something that I learned a while back. So we realized, oh, wait a second. You don't necessarily have to be the biggest and the best and shiniest product. You don't have to be the most viral or the most streamed. If you can write a check to the person for an amount that they are happy with to sneak you in. Back in the day when I was working with Citizen Way, probably 8 years ago, I ended up going to this place in Franklin, and for some reason or another, like, ended up at this, like, $11 million mansion on the top of a hill that Michael was potentially going to buy. So, we're all just chilling by this infinity pool and talking, and Michael shows up, and I got an opportunity to ask the dude for, like, some advice, for, like, career advice. I had no idea what I was gonna do with my music career. You wanna know what the piece of advice Michael said to me was? His advice was this: "Get money."
Bam.
I was like, "What?" "I thought you're, like, the Christian artist. I thought, like, that's bad." He's like, "No, get money." And I've, chewed on that for a long time because here's what he realized. If you get the money, guys, the whole game changes. If you have the funding for your career, you call the shots, you're in control. This timeline where it's like, you'll get there in 10 years if you do this, this, this. No, you can do it in a year or 2 years. You can shrink this whole thing down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So they're guys that own that and everything. They actually own a marketing agency, a TikTok marketing influencer agency that is very, 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 very successful. And we've got some mutual friends and we've all just kind of had conversations. So we're trying to understand how they're doing this. Because if you go look, why are all of their songs out with Maverick City? How did they shortcut so many of their songs to the top? Why are they out on the tours with Mav City? And how are they getting all the biggest, best writers, producers, all of that stuff if they're just getting started? Well, number one, they had leverage. They were all going viral on TikTok. So they had like this family that has a lot of influence. But even bigger than that, that influence and that company that they built has a checkbook. So you're able to go to somebody like a Maverick City and say, hey, I see you got a tour coming up. How much? And again, we can't confirm like that this is what's happening or what these deals are, but I have a pretty good suspicion that it's like, all right, how much do we need to pay to get on this tour? You can buy your way onto these tours, guys. You absolutely can. So I would start thinking about that, guys, is okay, I know this. I know I'm doing Christian music, one, because there's probably a ministry aspect to it. There's probably this like super passionate side of you that just wants to share this message. But there's also this side of you that needs to think as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and think, okay, I do need it to make money. How do I get more money to shortcut opportunities and give the right people money?
Yeah, and definitely don't think of it in a way where, let's say you spend 50, 75 grand on Winter Jam. You're
Ugh.
not going to make that back anytime soon.
Don't be stupid.
And
Like,
so it's
make stupid
and
moves.
it's the same thing. It's like if you went out and paid somebody else to get on a tour with them, it's like you're not going to get that kind of money back immediately. It's an investment. around the board, just like marketing, just like paying for production, whatever. No, the problem is a lot of people pay the Winter Jam situation and they expect like their lives are going to be changed after it, but it's actually the opposite. It's changed, but now
You're
there's
just
75 grand and yeah, and people take out loans for that stuff.
yeah.
And like I can give you a little bit of reality. It's like because I've asked our old drummer that used to play for Mass Anthem, he played for a girl that did this and she paid for it. But basically the situation was they're playing stadiums and let's say, okay, well, I'll pay 75 grand, whatever, and I'll bring my merch. Maybe I'll sell some merch and then I'll make some of that money back. It's not the case. You get one table in a stadium. So the odds of people finding your table are low.
I'm at
Plus,
E section D, number table 2, and then there's like 100 tables there.
yeah, you're competing with whoever the all the other bands are. Skillet, like people want to go buy all their merch, and so
Yeah.
you're competing with them. Plus, you are playing lights up, meaning you're playing during the walk-in before the show starts,
People
and
aren't even in their seats yet, guys. Like, not everybody's there.
you don't get a bus. You have to drive every night behind the buses through the night. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows to do the Winter Jam thing. So I mean, if you absolutely have the money and you want to do it, great. I'm sure it's like great experience and you get to meet. Obviously, you probably get to chat with all the artists that are there, but as far as an immediate return, that's not happening.
No, it's a brand move. And to be honest, guys, if let's follow this imaginary situation. You've got 50 grand to play around with. I wanted to quick bounce back to one thing that I forgot to touch on. One more strategy, guys, if you want to get on these tours, right? We talked about money, right? Buying your way on. Hear me out. This is a strategy I just talked about last week with a new artist that I was on a call with, who they are doing this right now. Joey, they are out on tour with Klein, the artist that we're doing a project with.
Yeah.
How do you think they got leverage to get out on these tours? Any ideas?
Friends.
Sold their soul to the devil. Oh,
Nope,
shoot.
they
What?
have no friends and they don't worship the devil. Anybody else?
They've got a bus.
no
They've
money?
got gear.
Bingo! Joey's got it. Okay, here's what they did.
Ah,
They started a production company. They bought the production equipment, the lights, the system, the board. That's one of the most expensive parts of touring, guys. So now they own this. They let other people rent it out, their services. And when they want to get on tours, they swoop in and say, hey, we'll provide the production equipment. Just let us open. Is the same move that when I was at GOA, there is a group called JJ Weeks band. I don't know if you've heard of them. So here's what they did, guys. They bought a giant bus. We called it the Snow Trooper. It looked like a giant Star Wars stormtrooper bus or whatever, snow trooper,
It's all
and
white.
all white. Yeah, just really kind of weird. Like you can't miss it. It gets like 4 miles to the gallon. Like it's just a beast. And then they have this giant trailer where they have all the production equipment. So they didn't have all the leverage, right? They did have like one hit song that was enough leverage, but it was old. So like they pushed that hard. They knew what their leverage was. And then they would step in and say, also, we'll take care of the production equipment.
Believe it or not, we started as two broke artists working multiple jobs, touring the country with our band, trying to get signed. All the labels, they said no. COVID shut everything down. Nothing was working. Our bandmates quit. It seemed like it was all over. So we learned music marketing. We built our own momentum. Today, we've crossed over 500 million streams on all of our music. And we built the Anthem Network to give indie artists, producers, and music industry players the roadmap we wish we had 10 years ago. So if you're done doing this alone, join the Anthem Network. Get your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description below. We'll see you there.
You don't tell the person, say like, I don't know, Alexander Pappas. Do you reach out to him and say like, we'll provide the stuff? Or do you talk to his manager? Or are you saying like you go to other really like smaller people, you know?
All of it, any and all. So this is where you got to get creative with it. If you go to smaller artists and pitch this, they're all on board. Like you're going to have less hurdles to jump through, right?
Mhm.
Because they're smaller artists. They're not going to be as picky. They don't have as many opportunities, right? So if you show up and you're like, guys, we've got all the equipment. We just need some other, people, and we want to be on the docket as well, and we want to open or whatever. You might even be able to leverage that and say, we want to be the headliner. Like you have a lot of power there. The bigger the artist gets, the more other people are involved, like management and booking and all this stuff, the more it's a relationship game. But if you're able to build credibility with somebody that has their artists that they're always touring or looking for touring, it's like, hey, here's a crazy idea. We own all the production equipment. What are the chances that we could be the opener for all the shows, but we'll provide all the equipment?
Mm.
And then you're like, okay, how much money would I technically lose? Run the numbers for taking my time and everything out. You're buying in, but now you're not buying in with just like cash that burns. You're buying in with an asset that you own. If you do this correctly, guys, you can crush it. There is a huge opportunity here.
Same thing too. I remember because the Mass Anthem days, we had our own setup. We didn't use this trick on other
The
people.
lights. Yeah.
We had our own lights and we had our own sound system. We had our own sub and speakers. So where I'm going with this is, since you guys are in the Christian space, now you have more opportunities with the types of venues that you can play because you have the speakers. Sometimes you'll hit up an old rinky-dink church that doesn't have a good sound system, and they're like, sorry, we can't have you guys out. We don't have any equipment. And then you don't have any equipment. You're like,
Okay.
shoot, well, I guess we can't. But that eliminates that. So like the places that do want you to come out, if you can supply the equipment, then you can actually do the show.
And right there, that's huge. So in my booking days, the hardest part was when these promoters wanted to bring the group in, and then they saw the type of production equipment that they would have to go rent out from someone locally. And it's usually too much money and too much of a headache. And that was oftentimes one of the biggest reasons why they didn't bring the tour in. Whereas the tours that had the production built into them, so let's say JJ Heller, Josh Wilson, Jason Gray, and they have the production equipment built into the tour. Well, of course, I'm like, done. You guys are going to supply it. Come on in. You're like, we'll work out the agreement. Working directly with these churches, like if you're reaching out to churches one-on-one, this is probably going to be one of the biggest leverage pieces that you'll be able to have. So use that. Absolutely use that.
I do have another niche
That was homework.
pro tip that I forgot about, specifically in the Christian space. So if you're a band that is also okay with leading worship, we have, especially in America, we have a lot of camps all over the US, and Mass Anthem has done a ton of them. One of the hacks when you're first starting out is try to get on these different circuits. For example, so Anthem Worship and Trace, we're both on the Fuge circuit. So Fuge is so they basically go into like Christian college campuses, large churches, and they host camp for like 8 weeks, like all over the US. So if you can get into one of those circuits, I would say Fuge and Lifeway are the top 2 largest in the US. If you can kind of get into that door, like that'll give you some more consistency. That'll give you, so for example, Anthem Worship has 5 weeks coming up in the summer.
26.
What this helps you do is, and so what that allows you to do is not only, meet, people, potential fans of your music, but you get to meet ideally church leaders that come in. It really depends on the type of camp that you do because there are certain camps where the parents drop their kids off and they're on their own. And then there are the types of camps where entire youth groups show up. Those are the types of camps that you really want to do because usually the youth pastors there and several other people that are in charge of the decision making of you potentially coming to their church. So if you can get into something like that, there are one-off camps all over the US and stuff like that too, but that helps you build leads for potential one-offs to where you can start chaining together your own little tours of these little locations that you keep coming back to.
And one thing that I want to say to include is we figured this out late in our journey. Every time you guys go play a show, it doesn't matter what it is, find at least 3 people who are willing to give you video testimonials of how great it was. I don't care who it is. If it's the promoter, if it's the random mom that was just like, living out our glory days to your music, or like you know what I mean, like the moms that show up and it's like reliving their high school or college days.
Reliving their youth or what? What?
Yeah, it's like the fun thing for them where they're like, if you ask them for a review of how it went, they give you the most phenomenal review. It was so much fun, you know. You just need a few of those. And then we take all of those and we build the landing page where now when we pitch ourselves, we just send them to the landing page and everybody else sells us for us instead of us having to sell ourselves. It's like, don't take our word for it. Look at these other 20 promoters and people about all these other shows. They liked it.
I heard another really good piece of advice too on that. Like if you can find like whatever town or city you're in, if you can find the nearest Christian radio station and go in and just like introduce yourself, and you can either like bring them a card or something like really personalized. And even if you're not on the radio there, they would probably consider putting you on the radio because then they like have a face-to-face friendship with you that and like something personal to go with it.
And you develop that relationship, and then like next time you're there, pop over and sing a song, like, you know, do a song quick live. Like, guys, this whole game of music, it's just networking, it's relationships, it's just get people to like you, figure out what people want, and then find a way to give them what they want.
This one's really good. I actually texted 2 people while I was on this call being like, if you're not part of the Anthem Network, what are you doing with your life?
Before you head out, if that session gave you just one good idea, imagine what'll happen when you're actually in the room with us every week. That's what the Anthem Network is all about. Artists connecting, getting real-time feedback, and taking action together. You can join right now with a 7-day free trial and be part of the next live call for free. Don't just watch other artists grow with them. Click the link in the description and we'll see you on the next call.